Hey everybody, it's Chris and welcome back to Something Else Amiga. What do we have on the show today? I received this box in today from Mr. Joe. Thank you for the notes, because my brain just don't work. Amiga 2000 motherboard was working when stored. Can't explain the trace foil damage. Alright, Mr. Joe, let's see what we got in this pizza. So inside we have an Amiga 2000 Rev 4 with some battery yuck. And the CPU is green. You can see the darkness. Well, in reality, that is dark green. Let me put on my slightly larger glasses. The battery damage is really crappy down here. And there's some blue, it's just chunking off. R914 probably bit the bullet. When I said I saw a big scratch on Agnes, it doesn't look like it's broken anything. Now, you're wondering the same thing as I am on this board with my two pair of glasses on. So that's a big power rail that's exposed to the world. I don't know why the foil has all came off. There's a break right there, so it might have popped. There's also burn marks around the edge. Can you see the blackness right here? Well, it extends into the Agnes and all the way around here. So this thing got smoked. Maybe the power supply ground it out or was plugged in backwards and fa-poom. That it is sliced in half. We're going to turn it on and look for the magic smoke. Green screen for RAM. That CPU is jacked up. So CPU itself, you're thinking, not so bad. See the green on the end there and the... Yeah, I don't know if you really see it. The board was cleaned. How can I tell the board was cleaned? Because the CPU socket is still crusty. Now if you look down the bottom of the pizza, see that little line of sort of wet? And the final sockets on this girl are still coated in acid. Acid is on 5 of the pins here, 7 to 8 on this side, and we're going to need a new socket. I'm going to go burr! Pull the ribs out of the center here. It also helps me check for screwdriver damage and digging of the ROM. This one looks okay. So now you can see all the pins look good. Keyword is look. Still flux on there. Remember that big gaping hole across that rail? Yeah, it's got flux on it. But now I'm not Picasso. Closed hole is a closed hole. See that? Just like that, the socket is in. Okay, so with that cleaned up, hold on, I have a dog doo-doo emergency. Okay, everything's cool. Well, I'm eating another rum. A tooth fell out. A372A. Holy crap, I have one. Green screen. These bastards right here, or 74LS, blew up. But that resistor pack is full of acid. Alright, so let's go with a new 68,000. Just to give it a test, because it is crusty. Okay, it's not the CPU. Because I got a green screen, there's two things. Agnes, which I tried, or RAM. According to Lemon Amiga Forum, 9 short blinks with 1 long is RAM, and 10 with 1 long and then a green screen is faulty Agnes chip. I don't think so. I forgot. Remember those scratches? They're good. Hi, it's 2 or 3 days later. I was going to do an Agnes chip the other day and I just ran out of power, and then I had to work all week. I'm going to pin out the ROMs and CPU lines first. Hey, a little close up. It's about an hour and 15 minutes later. I continuity traced the entire ROM socket. Sprint layout viewer. Blue capacitors that are next to it. I don't know if you can see them. They're tiny, right? They look okay until you get to here. It exploded. Rev 4s. They're blessed. That had nothing to do with it. I pinned only the ROM out. I was working on the CPU next and the Agnes socket. Because of this burn line on this bus, something happened to a line in Agnes, because every Agnes I put in there says bad Agnes. So I have to pin the Agnes socket out. You got 68 pins of love. This is fun. Welcome back to a couple days later. Agnes is coming out now. I just desoldered it. Everything came out smooth. Used the solder sucker China Heiko clone. And 1 socket. Pulled Gary out, by the way.
Who is this Gary character?
He was really crusty underneath. That rail right there that you see exposed, how it is all burnt up and under Agnes. Now, that does go over to the RAM. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go continuity lines around here just to be sure everything's okay. It's easier for me to pin out the Agnes when it looks like this on the board to me also. I hate early rev boards. They're such a pain in the ass. Anywho, see you in a bit. 3:16 p.m. and everything in red has been tested. That is this and the outer ring of that. It takes a long time to do this stuff. Apparently the carpet's dirty again. Well, that was a fun 2.5 hours of my life. That's 3:41 now. Sorry for the movement. I pinned out all this. It's all good. That's that. Now I'm going to brush it. Motor's toothbrush. All pins continuity tested. Now I'm going to start testing this RAM. I can't test the RAM because I can't get it to do anything. It green screens before it even nothing, so diagram won't even work. Anyway, I gotta run to Hardee's and feed the kid. I will be back. It is 4:07 p.m. Sunday evening. Okay, so it's another day on the R4. I put diagram in it again and nothing. No dice. I'm not getting any activity on the scope, which probably means the 245 blew out because this rail busted here, went around that gold line, and this guy right here is a 245 PC. This is a 373. The other guys up here are 373s. They're your buffers for your RAM. But this 245, first line of fire. So I'm thinking, if this smoked, that's got to be blowed up. Okay, so I got to get on eBay. I got to order more parts. I got a bunch of RAM ordered for this thing. Sockets. So here is the Big Book of Amiga hardware picture of a Rev 4 motherboard. You're going to notice RAM, ceramic, RAM, ceramic, RAM, ceramic. And if I go to the bottom, whoop, RAM, ceramic. Let's look at our candidate here. We have RAM, ceramic, RAM, ceramic, RAM, ceramic, RAM. These are empty. Does that look like it was touched on to you? I don't know. I can see the dots in there. Was it just, were they pulled out? Crazy, huh? So I'm going to get back to the drawing board, figure more of this out, and see what's going on. Weird stuff's happening. So I just ordered some 74F245 PC transceivers for $470 freaking 9. Busted out the oscilloscope. Got clock. Agnes is working. Got clock on the CPU lines. Reset bus goes low high and then freaks out. And this line is fixed. It has 5 volts on that busted rail. I'm not worried about those caps on the bottom of this mess. It's been cleaned. I pulled all the chips out. We tested everything. Gary was working in my Amiga 500. So were the CIAs, Denise and Paula. Agnes CPU. Since I can't get any chip RAM activity, the only thing holding it to the chip RAM out of the Agnes is that one freaking stupid, yep. So, again, I'm going to have to wait on more parts. Yeah, I've scoped the crap out of all this stuff. I got clocks, I got access, I got data, but I have no memory. Hey, so it's been a couple days. It's actually Christmas Day. I am working on this before I cook Christmas dinner. And it's 4 o'clock. So I guess I should get busy. Last time we checked off, I was looking at this 74F245 PC U103 right here, which is directly off Agnes and was part of that power blow rail. So I bought 10 of them. I'm going to take this chip out and we're going to put the new one in. There is no pattern to the blink lights on the Amiga. Well, I don't know about that because I've been using patterns of these lights my whole life. Straighten it so it's tight. Of course, phone goes off. There you go. That's a stacked chip. Low high. First RAM chip, which is right on that bus line. So at least we went low high. So getting close. So it could have blown everything up. Bust out the old Amiga 2000 schematics here, and according to the Rev 4 board, we have 3 octal chips here. That is 540. And 541, 74F244 octal transceivers. And those bad boys are right down here. U540, U541. Come off of the old CAS and RAS lines here that are the memory control. It's got the DRA, and then you have RP500, 501, 502, the resistor packs here, 1, 2, 3, that are in conjunction with the main data bus for the RAM. You also have 74F244 on U541. So these two guys control access to the RAM. There's a pin 4 and pin 2 and pin 8 that I'm going to need to scope out. That is the CAS and RAS lines. Now we're going to get a blinking green screen, but I need to see what's going on those two lines to tell if these chips have bit the farm. Now I don't know if that is exactly what has happened. However, with this rail that fried, U103 off of the Agnes was right in the line of fire. But RAM-wise, these guys are on the same bus too. Anything in this area could have popped. That's res. Look at that. That's the reset. You just saw it happen. I watched it happen. Alright, great. Hello, welcome back to that Rev 4 board several days later. Got the RAM sockets in. I also went and oscilloscoped again these lines, and I think I found out what happened to this board. This VCC line, aka the 5-volt rail, was totally fried. And I have removed 4 of the RAM chips, as you can see here on the left-hand side of the pack of the first row. I'm going to take them all out. I got all brand new RAMs. Why? Because this line feeds all these chips, and I think the power cord was plugged in backwards. 12 something, 5 volt, bad, became 12, and was on there, turned on long enough to melt the solder mask off the board and fry this line physically in half, burning the copper in half and smoking it all around underneath Agnes, which I had to replace. And every chip that is on this bus has been bad so far that I have tested. I have replaced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 so far. 9 with the Agnes, 10 with the CPU socket. And I don't know if I did a ROM or not because I can't remember back that far. Waiting on parts, and yeah, it's fun. Was told it was put away working, but they must have forgot that they fried the whole thing first. Get these chips out. They're a real pain. They're 16-pin Oki data, but unfortunately, my oscilloscope thing, I'm doing 3 lines. The right enable should be low. They're all stuck high. Thought the buffer chip, okay. The CAS and RAS lines, they should select. That's column address select and row address select for the, you know, the walk like an Egyptian movements of the RAM, selecting the column and the row. They would work and then not work. Like off on, I could check it, you would see it go low, 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 and flicker. It'd be cool. And then it would just stop.
You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
2000s are famous for board flex. So I'm going to do the next best thing, and that is spend 500 and something pins and start pulling them out. And new sockets, new RAM, board work. We'll see. What else could I blow up?
We have sort of a problem here.
What else could plugging something in backwards blow up?
Here, hold 'em beer.
CAs possibly. Gary, you know, you're all in the line of fire on the Agnes timing signal. Gary initiates the buffers to pull up to right enable. Yeah, it's a lot of science in there and book math and stuff. It's now 12:30 in the afternoon. I've been working on this since 4:30 a.m. Fun. Alright, I replaced the RAM chips in the front. Hello from a few days later. I snipped all of the chip RAM out, as you can see. You ever take a few right here. Plugging something in backwards fried every single chip that I've ran into so far. So I just ordered an entire new chip RAM and sockets. So I snipped them all out. Say what you will about cutting chips. You know how I do it. It works fine for me. Then I do a safety remove, heat it up, pull it out very so carefully, and then I debraid the entire piece, and I don't lose or damage the via, and I get all the legs out. And that's just how I do it. And that's where I'm at. So I'm going to debraid and de-hole these, put some new sockets in there, and then we're going to try, again, it's currently 1:12 p.m. Ooh-wee, 4:08 p.m. and a little wet. All the sockets are in. Yay. Okay, so it's 5:30. My final thing for today was I took the resistor pack off. Something's up with this board. I think it has laminate separation now. I am able to get diagram to run if I grab the CPU socket on the bus side and pull it to the right, I will get this, which means basically it can't talk. There's an address line problem. If I let go, it fails. This is my Kipper 2K. It's a 68,000 out of socket. Owner CPU, 68,000 in the actual 68,000 socket, which is a new socket. Nice and tight. Nothing. Red screen of death, as in no CPU. I had it working, and then I was probing address lines with the scope here to see which one is causing me this hell of this issue, and nothing. I was having good luck with getting this thing to display actual stuff. Socket's in there tight. I don't know, it's board flex or what. You know, when you plug a power supply in backwards, it obliterated everything. I gotta hold the crap out of it just to get it to work. You can see it running rampant on the screen, the colors. It's searching for available RAM at any address all through. That's what this is doing. It's scrolling through every rando, oh, and I lost it, available address line to see if it can find RAM, which is all brand new, by the way. 15 minutes later, whoop, one socket. It's a good socket. It's got the yellow Captain tape to prevent solder bleed over. It was perfect. It came out perfect. There is nothing wrong with it. It's brand new because I just put it in there. So now I'm going to probe address lines again, and I'm going to flex the board and see if anything happens. Hello, welcome back to a little while later. I am scoping out the address lines on the 256K RAM chips, and what I'm using is the datasheet schematic here, and I'm going to probe A0, 1, 2, 3, and then 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4. What we're going to look for is these little peaks, right? We either have a long line with lines across it if it's working, or if I zoom in, we'll see 4 RAM pieces doing their thing. So this is the top row, address line 0. That is. So that's address line 0. But look at 1. Now, this is address line 1. See how it's there, but it's weak sauce. Hence our green screen. Now, if I do a compare in the other row, this is the address line 1. And the third bank, we're still good. And the final bank, we're still good. Bottom bank 0, alright? Then we'll do 1, address line 1, and we'll do address line 2, and address line 3. Alright, address line 4 is a little weak. 5, doing the same thing. 6, but that movement is talking. 7, and finally address line 8. We're going to put in the 1-2-1 version of diagram. Here we go, diagram. We're going to see failed, 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 failed. And we're going to get a red and green screen on diagram because that's its custom colors of Christmas trees to let you know. Now if I let this run, this is more progress than I've been able to get in a long time on this machine. At least there's signs of life. This will run through every address bus possible looking for chip RAM. You're going to hear continual beeps. That's my Devoom TV trying to acquire a video signal. No chip mem detected. Halting system. Ooh, gray screen. So that got me thinking. Can't find any memory. Address line 0. Okay, that's on that top row of chips. Same on the other one is working. Same on the third bank is working. Same on the fourth bank is working. So we have an address line 0 problem on the first bank of chips. I'm going to pop these chips out and I'm going to swap them with the 3 on the bottom that I know work. There we go, that's address line 0 again. Nothing. So the bottom row, chips are working. They're the same chips I just pulled out of the top here. There you go, you can see the RAM. Same on the top here, we're missing signal. If I go to the third pin over, or third chip over, the second chip, third chip. And then the fourth one, we have it. Interesting. The Jelly of the Month Club keeps on giving.
That it is, Edward.
With 500 or something points. These orange dots here. This is a scan page from the paper schematic. It's the only thing I could find with the chips. And I wrote dots on them, and then my hand got tired, so I wrote lines on them, and then my hand got tired, so I just took an orange pen and just started making dots. That's one pin. I found in some basic tracing that several of the pins on several of the banks don't match. So I have to have a visual noggin record of what's going on because these projects can take multiple days, as this has taken multiple months. You think, hey, the video is 30 minutes long, it's just a piece of cake, we're knocking these things out of the park. No. There are hours upon hours of off-camera troubleshooting, chicken wings and tenders, arguments with the family, vacuuming, dogs, work. So I'm going to go through these pins. It'll take me several days, and I'll report back. So last time we checked, the other day, I was continuity testing all of these pins. It's 500 and some odd pins. And I came up with this ancient document. It's an actual Rev 4 from the Commodore schematics that I made 16 dots per chip. And I made myself a key because I would forget. Orange is good, red is bad. And there are a lot of bads. And I have banks, and it's working for me. And there's one broken in every single bank. Why? Because I'm presuming the power supply was plugged in backwards, or the board flex issue. I have expressed this before in the past, and I will actually show you what happens. This is an extra large pizza, and this board, as you can tell, is slightly bowed. It's not the fisheye of the camera angle. What happens is, as it sits in the Amiga, people over-tighten the screws, or the case gets bent, and next thing you know, you have this board flex. It's bowed like this.
His back is crooked as a politician.
And what happens is, during that time, when it's bowed like that, all those little traces break. That, combined with burning the 5-volt rail right out of the system, has caused all sorts of nightmares. That's what's given us the address line problems on the RAM, and I'm hoping that I can wire the crap out of this thing underneath. That's why the original RAM never pinned out. When I continuity traced all the original RAM before taking it out, half of it wasn't beeping and it was like broken traces. It doesn't look bad, but it's like cracked. And this has taken me 2 days so far. I also oscilloscoped the address lines, and we were looking at the RAM earlier on the oscilloscope to figure out kind of what's wrong. And I didn't get all the way through it, but that top bank, those first 3 chips were bad, so I removed them. And they're brand new, they're not bad, but something to do with the vias that I found out, not the sockets, making continuity. And that is the same problem as I had originally when I first looked at this board before I even removed the RAM. There was all these weird problems, I'm presuming from board flex and burning the 5-volt rail. Unfortunately, it takes me an extremely long time. I'm one dude, I work full-time, and then I work on these at night. I still am a dad, a husband, and, you know, a dog and cat parent also. I'm sorry if these take a long time, and when I have a death repair like this, it actually takes a tremendous amount of time, which hinders other productions of videos. You're thinking, man, how does this guy put out 2 videos a week?
Emotional, damn it!
In November of 2022, I received about 13 boards in for repair, and I actually get many more than that. Unfortunately, most people do not want me to video their repair. I respect their wishes. Maybe they don't want to be called out for poor maintenance or just neglect. I don't know, but I save a lot of boards. Unfortunately, I don't get to video as many as I save, but trust me, there is well over 100 repaired in 2022, and I have 370 some odd videos in the pipe of my YouTube channel, with many more stacked up. Hopefully, get this knocked out tonight. As you can tell by Omnibot's clock, it's already 7:30 p.m., and I'm exhausted. I had Subway for dinner. It wasn't that good. I wrote totals down, and I wrote some weird science here where I have pins 2 cross to 14 all banks, pins 3 go to pin 3 and pin 4 are banks 1 and 3, 1 and 3, pins 3 and 4 are bank 2 and 4, then pin 17 is bank 1 and 2, and pin 17 is bank 3 and 4. Crazy stuff. I'm sorry if this isn't digital, but sometimes you need the old analog method. Orange dots are good, red dots are bad, 6 bad on row 1, 2 bad on row 2, 7 bad on row 3, and 5 bad on row 4, for a total of 20 bad connections. Fun, fun. So I have to first put the sockets back in, and then I have to go underneath and wire all these bad points together. Then I have to re-continuity test all of the points. Yay. See how this takes time? Hello, it's Friday night. I got my Commodore shirt on, and I've spent the last, it's 5:16, hour or so doing all of the rest of these. Last night before I went to bed, I finished banks 1 and 2, and then I just finished 3 and 4, which was about 12 traces. Diagram. Yay! Woohoo! Look at that! Yes, sir! That's what I'm talking about. Something's still up. Stuck in low.
You stewed, buttwad.
But at least I got RAM now. So we have a really crappy display. Alright, it's been like a week or so. I was waiting on these 20-pin sockets for those 245s. Because this one that was right off of the Agnes, where the burn mark was like really fried up underneath. So I had to do like some bodge wire to one pin on the Agnes. I did put it in already. I'm sorry I didn't film it. I just wanted to get it in. I am so sick of this board. This should fix it. This should at least make diagram work. I don't know about the display because we were having that weird text thing. Maybe there might be a ROM line still loose, but we're gonna do this together. So, maybe. Hold on. There we go. Nope. I'm prepared. We're gonna go putty. We're gonna go COM4 large font. I'm gonna make this big. So this will be the serial. This will be the Amiga. I'm gonna turn this light off because it's death. Here we go. Energize. I'm gonna have to right mouse button, right? Nothing there. Oh! Oh, I got clear screen. Yes, baby, yes!
Mortimer, we're back.
1 mega chip, 68,000. Thank God. Mortimer, we're back. Holy bar mitzvah, that was a rough one. Test CIAs. Remember, this is an NTSC board. This one should fail. One of these should fail. NTSC will give false data. OKs across the board. Alright, we've secretly replaced everything in this computer with new shit. Let's see what happens. Do I get a kickstart screen? Hot dog. Man, you don't know how much it means for me to get this SOB done.
You son of a bitch.
I have replaced virtually everything on it. Everything on the chip RAM bus. All of the buffers, all of the logic, all of the RAM, all in sockets. Fixed a lot of wires and address lines. And when you fry stuff, oh, I also replaced a lot of ceramics near the front where the ferrite bead row is because they were exploded. And, yeah. Another Amiga saved, guys. That was a long one. I've had this machine for, shoot, at least 2.5 months, I think. Round 7. I think we're good. Well, there you go. We're rocking. State of the art. Alright, there we go. So that was Spaceballs, the whole thing. It will just do this over and over. Zorro is working. Yay! 3.1 ROM, 40.063. You're not going to boot off my utilities disk, so you're going to return yourself to your ROM screen. And we are good to go. So another Amiga has been saved, everybody. Took a long one on this one. This one was a very rough road for me. Probably one of the more harder ones I've had to do, even on the, damaged Acid 8 ones. This one was a little rougher, mainly because of all the wiring and the fried barbecue. So maybe I'll call it thank you to all my Patreon supporters, which allow me to purchase all the daggone parts it takes to repair these turds. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching.
What do you know from funny, you bastard?